Hello and welcome. These are horse racing selections for Wednesday, the 14th of June. I am Flat Cap Callum and I'm hoping you're all very, very well. Alright, it's the start of the Flat Cap Callum week and we are riding into Wednesday with a full stake £20 day. Now, it's not the best looking day on paper and I made it just a smidgen over 3/4 stake day. So I had to make a decision about, do I round it down or do I round it up? And sometimes in life, even in a controlled betting system like mine, you have to throw a tiny bit of caution to the wind. So I've started the week and I've rounded it up. So it is technically two bets. One split leg lucky 15 and one lucky 31, which I don't do that often. And it is a £20 stake. So that is what is coming up. 250 Yarmouth is my first selection. So we'll come to that. We need to do the review of Sunday. We need to do the comments review for Monday and Tuesday. We'll have a roundup of the stats. And I haven't got other stuff on my agenda unless I've forgotten something. So I'm definitely trying to not go for a super long video at the start of the week like I sometimes do. That's the plan. So Sunday, we had 35 on. I really went for it a bit on Sunday. 35 on and it was 23.04 back. So we got 2/3 of the stake back. So on bare stats, you're like, it wasn't terrible, but you didn't win kind of day. The reality was it was a below par day by some way. But I got a little bit of fortunateness, some would say, or some would say it was good selections, whichever way you want to look at it. But managed on one bet to claw back a lot of the cash. So we went with these. So we started here. That was no good. That was second and it was a drifter. And then Dark Image I think was no good. So we had one place short price on the single figures on that. So nothing back on bet one. Then bet two. That was really disappointing. No good, no good. And that one virtually pulled up. So we got nothing back on bet two. We went into this bet three, started off with a place, and then there wasn't anything else. Even if it's short price, I've got nothing else on that one. So not much back on that. This was the one that saved the day in terms of blushers. Daintree wasn't quite close enough. I think it maybe was ninth. I was split on this one, but Atitash got fifth. We had Ventura Flame fifth. Casbaz fifth. Got a slight rule 4 deduction. It was a shorter SP. That was a bigger SP. That was a slightly shorter SP. But we had a place treble on the lucky 15. Of the 4 big handicaps, I got 5th place in 3 of them. And that is why sometimes it works in your favour. As far as I can see, almost all online bookies paid 5 places on all those handicaps. So I'm hoping most people got the cash back for that one. But yeah, then the combination doubles sucks, to be honest. I got struck out in the first leg and then I got one place in the second leg, albeit drifted to 25-1. So nothing back on that big one. This one struck out, although some ran okay in that bet. And then we had, Ounce of Gold. That was the other one. Yeah, so Ounce of Gold, 40-1 SP. It almost went and won the race. And it didn't count for anything because I had it as a place double. Sorry, check myself. It was a place double with Casbaz. Almost didn't count for anything. It would have been helpful to have that in a lucky 15. So yeah, strike rate. We had 26 horses running. 8 would have been par. We had six placed horses. No winners. So there was no bonus for getting any winners. 6 placed. 8 would have been par. 10 really is what we want on a day like that to start cashing the money. So wasn't to be, but standby it was worth a go. It was the right sort of day. But if you actually look at those big handicaps, the first 2 of them were won by the favourites. So never going to go my way if that's the case in those big ones. So yeah, just disappointing. But I was pleased that we didn't lose all of the money. So we ended the week just a touch over 40 quid ahead. So 2 days stake ahead. We only bet 80 quid. We got back 120. So it was a 50% profit. And that leaves us just about 45 ahead for the month and about 387 I think it was when I looked for the year. So we're still in the teens of percent, which is perfectly all right. So I mean anything positive is technically all right, isn't it? So yeah, we're we're cooking on gas all right. And yeah, we're still sort of Sunday. Didn't go great, but still, it feels like it's there or thereabouts. So we had Monday. We had, what did I do? I think I had 4 horses. I put in the comments. One was a non-runner. One placed fourth, Snugsborough Hall, I think it was. One was a Sky Bet only place, but I can't remember the name of it. And one was nowhere. So that was okay-ish, depending on who you're putting your money with. And then, then Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday was a funny one. There was quite a lot I liked on Tuesday. I would have had a reasonable bet. I probably would have had a £20-25 bet if I'd done it on the channel. I put 2 in the comments, and they were both absolutely dire. So that wasn't very good. Grange Clare View. I quite like that Southwell meeting, but that horse was a right disappointment. So that was no good. And then Dio Bellator was one, and there was a very astute comment in there from a first-time commenter whose name completely escapes me. So I literally only just saw it before I did the video, and but basically what he was saying is the owner has ridden the horse a couple of times, and then when he's ridden it, it's done a lot better than the claiming jockey that's on it. I was aware of that fact, but I was still chancing my arm, because originally when I put that up the other Sunday, and it was a non-runner, and we had it in 2 bets. He was scheduled to ride the horse, and he had another horse in the race, which that apprentice did ride. So yeah, I was aware of that anomaly, but I mean, if you watch the race, the horse it was a weird ride. Really was a weird ride. So yeah, apologies, got nothing back on the tips I put in the comments. There was another one last night that I saw at 66 to 1 at a standout price with Paddy, and then I thought, should I put something in the comments, yes or no? I'll leave it, I'll do it in the morning. Got to the morning and it just completely disappeared, and it ended up going into 11s. There was a Rule 4 deduction, and then SP'd about 16s, I think it was, and it did come second. So nobody lost huge amounts of money, but yes, it was one of them ones where I was like, if I'd put that up at 66, I'd have been very happy with that one, but I didn't, so I'm sorry. I can't I can't get it right all the time. Equally, I can't get the horses in the right bets all the time, and I can't always judge exactly what I'm putting in the comments. I am trying, folks. That's all I'm saying to you. I'm trying. And I know most people really appreciate it. Some people are just here for a free ride. Don't hear from them. They take the tips. They probably do all right out of it, but I never hear. So that's why I really, really do appreciate the people that do take time. And likewise, there'll be passers-by just thinking it's all a bit of nonsense. And there's always people questioning the strategy and doing that. And I'm not hitting here saying I've got it cracked perfect every time. I haven't. It works for me, and it works in the long term. And in some degree, what I do on the channel mirrors what I do outside the channel. But I do, because I do a bit more medium risk off the channel in terms of singles. It's not that I don't want to kind of replicate that on the channel specifically. It's more about just wouldn't get very many multiple bets out. So I'd like to get multiple bets out, and that's why I do it like that on the channel. It's high risk. Long term, it's fine. But in the medium term, my way of doing things, when I'm putting a little bit more on singles, will yield a little bit more of a consistent result, I guess. So yeah, there is other ways you can do my bets, but obviously it takes more money, and you've got to kind of work out, okay, well, maybe I'll do like a 5p lucky 15, and therefore I can put a 50p each way single on the other horses or something like that if you were doing equivalent stakes. All right. I think that's all of the preamble. I'll get to the bets for Wednesday. So here we go. So this is the non-Kempton bet, because I've got a Kempton bet. It's a non-Kempton bet. 250 Yarmouth. I'm not a massive fan of Yarmouth as a track. I don't like the form read on it often, so I don't do a lot of Yarmouth. This one, it's a race where most of them either haven't run much or they've never run at all. And I just think a notion 40 to 1's a bit too much of a big price, given it has performed reasonably on a couple of runs, and most of these that are shorter in the betting haven't run at all. So chances are you'll find a couple too many that might push that horse probably more like 4th, 5th, 6th. It's probably a 4th to 6th horse, so you'll hear me talk about that before. 4th to 6th horse is where I probably have it. So it might be one to have a look in the extra market, but it's not. It wouldn't be a complete shock if that horse made it in the frame. So that's why I think it's worth having a go in there. But I haven't done anything extra on that. 450 Haydock Scotch Mistress 16s. I think that one is, I think the technical phrase here, if you were listening to some sort of professional racing pundit, it's coming to hand, i.e. it's had a couple of runs this season and it's improving, and I think it'll improve from the last run and it might get back to where it was last season. If it gets back to where it was last season, it's a framing horse. If it's not quite there, it won't. So Scotch Mistress at 16s. And then I've got some stuff in the last two races at Limerick. Relevant Range ran an absolute duffer last time. If that bounces back, those odds are going to look silly. So we're taking a chance that that one's bouncing back to the basically all of the other runs it's done, where it would say that horse has got potential to be in the frame. And then the 8:30, I've split it. I've got Chestnutter. I think that horse looks like it might be primed to get back to form. Colin Keane has booked to ride it, and it's not shown much this season, but if it goes back to last season, that one looks like it's on a really good mark. So we're going Chestnutter 14s, and I'm sticking faith to Salt Whistle Bay, which we've backed a couple of times. It's been a bit disappointing. I still think that horse might bounce back. Some will say it's a 9-year-old and it's on the decline. I still think there's a bit of mileage in that horse, so I've split-legged it. So 2 times 10p each way lucky 15. So we've got a lucky 15 with those three with Chestnutter, and a lucky 15 with those three and Salt Whistle Bay. I've got a 30p each way single on Scotch Mistress at 16. So I've got nothing else, as I said, on the bigger price one. If you want to do it differently, that's absolutely up to you. And then I've got 2 times 25p each way doubles. Relevant Range on Chestnutter and Relevant Range on Salt Whistle Bay, which takes the bet to 760. Sky are best because they are 4 places on legs 2 and 3. No one else is. Everybody's standard terms 3, and virtually everybody is 4 there. So it's those 2 races where Sky make a difference. That 450 and the 8 o'clock. 760 is your bet. So that's that one. And then, the Kempton bet. So as I said, sometimes you've got to throw a little bit of caution to the wind, even if it's a controlled environment, and we're talking about a couple of quid. So I went through the Kempton card, and we did well off Kempton last Wednesday, and Kempton has been a good track to me, and I know it very well. And I went through the races, and literally I got a horse in each race that kind of was like, I think that might be the right one from a value perspective. So they're all double figures, and there was nothing where I was like split between a couple, so it made it nice and easy. And I thought, you know what, let's do it. It's a good track to us. The one concern I have, and this might not be everybody's concern, but people think, we talk about the ground, and it's Kempton. You go, okay, well, the ground is the same, and therefore you're less likely to get non-runners, so it doesn't matter whether it's raining or not. Fair enough. What I think does matter is not all horses will run well when it's really hot, and it's going to be a nice hot evening, which is lovely for if you're hanging outside and you want to, have the warmth on you. But from a racing perspective, same as humans, same as horses, some humans will run better or deal better with the conditions when it's really, really hot. Personally, I'm talking personally when I'm running, I slow down when it gets hot, but overall I'm slowing down more than the average bear. I'm not racing against bears, just to be clear, but you catch my drift. So I know I run a much slower than average when I'm really, really hot and I sweat a lot. It's the same with horses. There is not enough evidence to suggest which horses run well or kind of hold their form better when it's hot, and that would be my only concern with Kempton. And some people will think that's absolute pie in the sky, but just because you don't hear people talking about it in the mainstream doesn't mean it's a thing. It makes logical sense. Some humans, some horses fare better in hotter weather than others. Anyhow, that's that. So we've got 640. Now that one is a 7-runner race, but we've got at least Sky and 365 and Coral and Betfred paying 3 on that one. Madame Fenella 14s, 710 Full Prime 14s, 740 Blue Flame 12s, 815 Torthief 10s, 845 Chengong 20s. So it is a full 20p each way lucky 31. That is not a usual bet for me. Usually it's, even if I've gone 5, I often will put it down to a Super Yankee / Canadian, but they're all decent enough prices, so I'd rather have a little bit of something to cover in the one winner factor. Now, bookie advice, very, very important to get this right. So Coral are the best bookie for this bet because they're the same place terms as Sky, which is 3 and 4 across all of those. The problem with Coral, as people who regularly use Coral accounts know, is they don't always let you put it on the night before. I've checked it. Right now, you can't put the bet on with Coral. They won't take the bet with... Basically, won't do a multi. You can do singles, but you can't do multiples on all 5 in the same bet. You can't even do multiples on 4 out of 5, as far as I can see. So if you are a Coral user, if you wait till the morning, because you will get bogged the night before, but you can't get the multiples. There's no point. So if you wait till the morning, usually they then lift the restrictions, and you should be able to do it. And hopefully the prices haven't disappeared too much. So the best time to do it would be Coral in the morning. You'll get the same place terms and you'll get bog. Sky are, as I said, same place terms. So you're getting a fixed price. I'm personally happy with the price of all 5 of those. So from a channel point of view, I picked those prices thinking if they get bigger and other people benefit, brilliant. But I'm expecting those prices. I'm expecting them all to be shorter. Not sure about Chengong. That's always a hard horse to call, that one. It's not. It's a bit like it's a bit like a dodgy bob. Like money doesn't always come for it, even when it's about to run well. Whereas I would say, I think all, definitely top 3, possibly Tower Thief as well, all probably will go shorter than that. So if you've not got Coral or Sky, 365 or Betfred would give you 3 and 4 and 4, I think it is. I think it's the 7, 10 and the 8, 15 that 365 and Betfred aren't paying 4 on. And then if you go most bookies are 2, 3, 4, 3 and 4. So 12.40 is the bet. Basic maths there. If we get a couple of winners, we're happy. If we get any 3 placing, that gives us a very small profit. 4 placing, and we are absolutely in business, because then you're talking about an 80 quid return pending any raw 4s or whatever. So that's the aim of the game here. Well, ultimate aim is to get loads of winners, or ultimate game in terms of how my strategy is try and hit 5 places. 5 places on that bet will see us very, very nicely. All right, that's it from me. I'll be back tomorrow night. Well, depends on, to be fair, depends on when you're watching this, doesn't it? So I'll be back Wednesday night for Thursday selections. Outlook for this week still looks hot, so look, I'm expecting lower field sizes. I'm kind of building up now to Ascot. So Royal Ascot is next week. So yeah, we will see. We'll take our chances as and when. I'm happy enough with where I've got to with £20. If you want to do £20, you want to lower it, you can factor it all down and make it a £15 stake. Likewise, if you can't afford £15, then do it less, or just don't do it. The benefit I have from the channel is I've got a betting bank that's been built up. So this year, for instance, if I start from scratch this year, it's £387. So it's not money I'm having to find to fund the channel account. I'm betting with money that is already accumulated in the channel account. All right. Have a good day. I'll see you on the next video. And that is it from me for now. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.